Hey everyone, Mike Slifer here in the First Alert Forecast Center with another First Alert Weather Extra. And we have a lot to talk about, given it's the start of the new month, it's the start of meteorological fall. We have to talk a bit about where August ended and all that. So let's jump right into some of the numbers. We'll begin first, before we get into any of that though, with a look at some of the sunset pictures from across Connecticut tonight. Earlier tonight, that is. What a view here from Neil and Haddam Neck. Beautiful sunset looking up the Connecticut River there. We'll take you to this picture from Bob and Izzy, Gulf Beach in Milford. A lot of color in the clouds. And we'll finish off with a picture from Jeff in Willington with a lot of color overhead. Always nice to see the green contrasted with the reds and yellows and oranges of a nice sunset. So August is now in the rearview mirror. We have the full picture of the month. Most of the time, temperatures were running a bit below average, sort of a difference compared to many of the months we've seen. And it was also a very dry month, especially for the Hartford area. That also meant that there wasn't really any concern for showers during the weekends. So weekend plans went off without a hitch. And anybody who had time off during the month of August likely noticed that things were certainly pretty dry, since none of your plans were really impacted by rain outside of just a handful of days. 69.6 was the average temperature for the month, an impressive 2.9 degrees below average, but still above any of the top 10 coolest Augusts. So we didn't quite make it to those statistics. We weren't quite cool enough there. 2.45 inches of rain coming in 1.76 inches below normal. Now this ended a streak where we had 21 months in a row where the average temperature for the month was above normal, meaning 21 months in a row where it was warmer than normal. But of course, August has since changed that, and here's where we settled again, 69.6, down 2.9 degrees compared to normal. This also means that meteorological summer is in the books, which runs from June 1st through August 31st. So it encompasses June, July, and August. 12.39 inches of rainfall, down just over a quarter of an inch of rain, so in other words, pretty close to average. 72.2 degrees, 0.3 of a degree above average, but still, all things considered, are pretty close to where we typically would be. As we head into the month of September, average high today, 81 degrees, average low, 59. By the end of the month, the normal high is 70, normal low is 48. So we really start to see some of those cooler, crisper nights and mornings arrive as we approach the end of the month. 4.39 inches of rain is what we see in a typical September. We'll see if we get there. We have plenty of time now to figure that one out, right? We have almost 30 days to go, 29 days to go. The extremes here for the month of September, 101 is the monthly record. Happened once, September 2nd, 1953. Talk about a hot September day. The record low of 30 has happened several times, most recently on September 29th in the year 2000. So it is possible that especially as we get toward the end of September, we could always end up with an early season cool snap and maybe even the chance for a bit of frost or something like that. So we don't have to worry about that anytime soon, but we, of course, will continue to watch. Wettest September, 14.59 inches of rainfall in the in the year of 1938. Of course, it was in the month of September. The other big story for tonight is the aurora. So we're just going through some of the data here. We are still looking decent for the chance to see the aurora locally. It would, again, require long exposure photography, getting away from light pollution. The thing that we might be battling, though, is the cloud cover. So when it comes to the actual geomagnetic activity, as of right now, it's looking decent. If you wanted to check in, you can always look at some of the star cameras in Maine. The one that overlooks Katahdin sometimes can give us an idea of what the conditions are actually like outside. But we are still socked in with cloud cover. Now, we thought a lot of this would thin out, but unfortunately, mostly cloudy skies persist. So earlier, it was looking like maybe 2 a.m. or later was the best time to see the aurora locally, and it still looks like that could be the case. So hopefully, within the next few hours here, we'll really see this cloud cover thin out quite a bit. There is, unfortunately, still some to our south, so we've been watching this as it's been building north. Looks like that frame of satellite there. There it is, frozen there for a second. So we'll just have to watch and sort of nowcast, figure out in real time where the clouds are and what they're doing. A lot of data still trying to suggest that clouds will clear pretty quickly over the next several hours, and doing so, we'll see temperatures fall back pretty quickly too. Normal high was a bit cooler than normal. 52 is where we began the day, so below normal there too. Now temperatures have been falling, but not quite as quickly because of the increased cloudiness. Many towns are in the 60s, 69, Hartford, Meriden, 71 in New Haven right now. 59 in Norwood, 61 in Willimantic, 62 in Salisbury. So some of those patches where the cloud cover has thinned out a bit, temperatures falling back a little more quickly. We're forecasting upper 40s in the typical cooler spots, otherwise low and mid 50s throughout most of the state tonight. So still good enough that you can open up your windows, let some fresh air in. Throughout the quiet corner, we're expecting temps in the upper 40s to around 50 degrees or so. Now, as we head into the southeastern part of the state, inland towns will still be in the lower 50s, but shoreline communities likely are in the mid and upper 50s. So a little bit milder right along the immediate shoreline, which is pretty typical this time of year, especially since Long Island Sound is still in the 70s right now. Shoreline towns, again, could even be closer to 60 degrees in some of the in parts of southwestern Connecticut, especially from New Haven and points southwest. A live look at ICAM in Torrington. Tough to say, but maybe a couple of stars visible right now. But unfortunately, again, we're still battling clouds in our ICAM here in Rocky Hill. Typically on this northern view toward Hartford, we can see a lot of stars. Not the case right now. And we'll finish off with a live look at our ICAM in Old Saybrook, which really tells maybe the best story of what the cloud cover looks like across the state, the moon illuminating the broken cloudiness overhead. Now, today was dry, tomorrow will be dry too, which means if you suffer from ragweed and grass pollen, well, unfortunately, those allergen counts will remain high over the next several days. So we need some rain to cleanse the air, and it's not arriving anytime soon. High pressure in control tomorrow, ensuring another bright day, and as that high shifts offshore on Wednesday, it'll help to make our wind southerly. Wind becomes out of the south, eventually bringing some muggier air back to the state, and also the chance for some showers, which we need. The southern half of the state, for the most part, still in that abnormally dry ranking on the drought monitor. We'll get an update on this on Thursday. We'll have to see if there's any expansion, but the take-home point is that we could at least use rain, and we're talking like soaking rain too, a slow and steady rain event. And you'll note that the dew points will be back in the muggy range Friday, and they climb a little bit more into Saturday morning before crashing big time. And that's because by Saturday afternoon, we expect the front to pretty much have passed through. So here's 7 a.m. Friday. American model showing more in the way of rainfall. The European model a little bit slower to get things going. But they're on a similar page by 1 in the afternoon, where we see showers across the state. Now, we've been watching the American model continuously show a solution where things wind down more quickly. Here's 7 p.m. The American model trying to wind everything down. The European model keeping the rain going. Well, we're thinking that showers are still pretty likely later in the day on Friday and even into Saturday morning. Perhaps becoming a bit more isolated in nature, sure. But either way, it doesn't look like we're going to dry things out super quickly or super significantly. So still probably worth planning at least for some isolated shower activity later Friday and into Saturday morning. We'll take you quickly to the tropics. We're approaching the peak of the Atlantic hurricane season, which is on September 10th. But of course, this time of year, we tend to see things pretty active. There was a wave moving off of Africa. That disturbance has a 50% chance of actually becoming named in the next 7 days. Next name on the list is Gabrielle, and if that becomes named, we will be the first to alert you. But as it stands right now, medium chance. So in other words, we're watching over the next few days. 70s for highs tomorrow, back into the low 80s inland on Wednesday and Thursday. Increasing cloudiness Thursday, turning muggy on Friday with showers and rumbles of thunder expected. Isolated showers into Saturday morning, and then cool weather returns early next week with temperatures back in the lower 70s by Monday. Nighttime temperatures near 50 degrees. Shoreline highs over the next few days will be in the mid and upper 70s. Back near 80 by Saturday, if that front can come through quickly enough, which there is still some uncertainty on the timing. We're expecting a rebound back to around 80 or so with increasing sunshine. Behind that front, we're also looking at the chance for maybe things to stay a bit drier than normal. These shades of brown popping up on the 6 to 10 day outlook, which brings us from September 7th through the 11th. And within that time frame, perhaps trending drier and certainly cooler. These shades of blue indicating the high likelihood the temperatures will remain below average. So our average high temperature is in the lower 80s over the next few days, and it dips into the 70s by September 6th. So when you see below average temperatures and your average high would be in the upper 70s, well, maybe mid 70s or low 70s. Certainly some cool nights on the way. And in case you missed it, the fall outlook from NOAA does show things perhaps running warmer than normal when you average the temperature out from September 1st through November 30th. Equal chances of being drier or wetter than normal.